Hello and welcome to another episode of the Marketing for Financial Advisors podcast. I'm your host today, Donovan Stull. Big topic. I'm hearing a lot of this recently. Advisors will come to us and say they just had events or promotions or campaigns that failed. Right? I hear that word a lot. They failed. Well, what does it mean for a marketing campaign to fail? Right? Well, in the traditional or digital space, what do we think of when we hear the word fail? Well, traditional space, maybe let's think you send out a mailer, right? You send out a 5, 6, 7, 8, 10,000 piece mailer and it fails. Well, what is the definition of failure to each advisor? Of course, that is subjective. That really does depend on what they were looking for. Now, granted, 10 years ago, you could send out a 5,000 piece mailer and fill up 2, 3, maybe even 4 nights. Now a 10,000 piece mailer might get you 10 households to register. That's not always the case for everyone. It might be a little bit extreme, but think about that. What does that failure look like? What does that failure mean? Well, what about from the digital side of things? Well, we set up a Facebook campaign or a LinkedIn campaign, and we're trying to get people into a room, into a seminar, and just nobody registered. We spent X amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars and just nothing. No registrants, no traction. Nobody was interested. Well, I strongly disagree with that word failure. So every single time that an advisor, marketing staff, third-party vendors, they put together a campaign for marketing, whether it's TV, radio, mailers, webinars, in-person events, dinners, educational, it doesn't matter. There's always a form of success to each and every single one of these things. And I think a lot of times what we forget about is when we're driving, what do we see everywhere that we look? Traditionally, we see billboards, right? Highways, local roads, doesn't matter. You typically will see billboards on the side of the road, right? And there's always, a couple kinds of billboards. You have your ones that are like, hey, this is just who we are, no real call to action, or CTA as I refer to it. But then on the other side of the road, it's, the lawyer's billboard, right? If you've been in an accident, call this number. That's the heavy CTA. And you always have to look at those as like, are they seeing a super responsive, positive, campaign every single time they do that? Not necessarily. It's just out there for the world to see. But we have to view it as advisors, as marketers, as the exact same way as a digital billboard, so to speak. So if I put out a 5,000 piece mailer and I get 2 people to register off of it, does that mean it was a total failure? Well, for the event, it may have been a failure, but from a marketing standpoint, it was not a failure. Why? Well, you have your logo, your name, your brand, your company in front of 5,000 different households that maybe have or have not seen your message before. You now have all these different individuals who are now becoming familiar with your information, with your company. I don't view that as a failure. Same thing with a digital side. If I set up a campaign for, doing any sort of marketing, and my reach, the number of people that actually saw the ad, if my reach was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people, does that mean it was a total failure? No. Just because I didn't necessarily get the amount of people that I wanted to register for an event or take action and click or book an appointment or something like that, that to me does not indicate a failure. I know that's hard to justify sometimes because, when the money is being spent and we're saying, look, the money that we are spending on this is just for this reason and this reason alone. It's to generate leads, to generate appointments, to put butts in seats, for them to be able to enjoy the information that I have, for them to see that I'm the best advisor and this is why you need to work with me. But sometimes we have to soften them up to who we are and what message we are offering. We can't expect someone just to open up an ad and see, okay, well, this image looks great. I'm going to go ahead and start working with them. If I get a letter right now or a piece of mail from advisor XYZ that says, hey, Donovan, you're invited to this upcoming retirement dinner event. And of course, not nearing retirement age just yet, but if I was invited to it and I'm being told, hey, you're invited to this upcoming event, come here. I've never seen this logo before. I don't know who this advisor is. I might do the research, or I might just throw it away and call it a day like so many advisors do. But I saw it for the first time. That's an impression that, would not have happened normally. So now I've engaged just enough to know if I see this logo again, I see this company elsewhere again, it's going to trigger that memory. Oh, I remember seeing it as a mailer before, or vice versa, right? I've seen it online. May not take immediate action, but then the next time I see something, it softened me up a little bit to, okay, I've seen them. Maybe it's not spam or something like that, but all right, I've seen them. I'm a little more intrigued by them. So does marketing fail? Yes and no, but ultimately no, because the more that we are able to get in front of unique individuals and show them who we are and what we do and what we have to offer, marketing is always successful in the sense that we are constantly putting our name and our information in front of new people all the time. So I strongly encourage you to shift your thinking just a little bit when it comes to thinking how marketing can and cannot fail. So, of course, we don't want to ever just spend money aimlessly and say, well, we didn't get what we wanted. We spent all this money and, my marketing has failed. Of course, we have to pick and choose our objectives selectively. But if we're saying, hey, unfortunately, this event it was not a good one. We didn't get anybody to sign up via mailer. We didn't get anyone to sign up via social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever the case. And, it was just a total failure. But change your thinking. Say, yeah, we didn't get anyone, but we have all these new people who have seen our information now. And maybe some people did take action. Maybe they clicked on your ads and said, all right, I'm interested, but date, time, whatever location doesn't work for me. But I'm interested though. Doesn't mean they're going to, file you away and say, all right, I'll come back to them whenever I can. But they saw your information. They were just curious enough. Same thing with mailers, right? I open up a mailer. This is great, but I hate that restaurant. I have no desire to ever go there, but I'm curious what this advisor has to say. Maybe if they send me something else or I see them elsewhere, I'll be able to take a look and kind of, figure out what I want to do from there. That's okay. You're able to feel like that was successful. So over the last year, changing that mentality, from my perspective, I think has helped out a lot in the sense that you're able to just see it for what it's worth, just the face value. Hey, getting in front of new people, this is what we want to do, right? We want to be the local celebrities. We want to be the ones who, when people in our area think of retirement or investments or, seeking financial help, they want to go to the advisor that they have seen and they have built up, enough trust with. So again, I'm going to encourage you, advisors, marketers, shift your thinking when it comes to what you view as a failure. I think the moment you start doing that, you'll realize that, while sometimes things do not work in our favor, there's no 100% guarantee in anything that we do marketing wise, right? You could pick up the phone right now and call 1,000 people and, not get a single person to respond to it. Or you might do a small Facebook campaign and get 100 people to register for something in a matter of days or weeks, and or do it again the very next week and have zero. There's nothing guaranteed when it comes to marketing. But if you can change your thinking and think, hey, we have an opportunity here to get in front of so many new people all the time, I guarantee you that you'll have a little bit of a better sense of what your marketing is doing. And then you'll be able to change the course of, okay, now that I've engaged some of these people, how can we get them to soften up a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more? So each time you do a new marketing piece, whether it's in print, digital, no matter the case, those billboards are being effective every single time. So thank you again for joining on here today with the Marketing for Financial Advisors podcast. We look forward to seeing you next time.